Hi boys and girls. Today I'm going to show you how to generate or make equivalent fractions. Let's say a question is asking us to find an equivalent fraction to 1/5. One way is to start by drawing a model. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw a model that represents one whole that is then divided into 5 equal parts. And even though my diagram's not going to be perfect, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I'm going to try my best to make it as equal as possible. Close enough. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to shade in 1/5 of the model. Okay? So just to clarify, 1 out of 5 parts is shaded in green. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 5 parts are unshaded. These words are important for you to know. Shaded means colored in, unshaded means not colored in. Now, one way you can find an equivalent fraction is by drawing an imaginary dotted line right across the middle, almost as if you were folding it in half. Now that we've done that, we can count all the parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Before, we had 5 parts. Now we have 10 parts. Because we shaded in 1/5, we need to figure out how many shaded tenths there are. So let's count the shaded parts. 1, 2. 2 parts are shaded. This is one way to make equivalent fractions. 1/5 equals 2/10. Another way is to draw 2 models. So let's start by making another model that represents 1 out of 5 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to count to double check that my work is accurate. Okay, so now that I made sure there are 5 parts, right underneath, I'm going to draw another model. And this time, I'm going to use these marks, the fifths. I'm going to recreate the fifths. And then I'm going to divide each fifth into 2 equal parts. So check this out. Here's 1/5. I'm going to draw a line right down the middle. And now I have 2/10 instead of 1/5. I'm going to go ahead and break up all the fifths into 2 equal parts. Okay, and now let's count them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I tried to make the spaces as equal as possible. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to shade in 1/5. I usually just draw diagonal lines. We don't want you coloring the whole space in. It might take some time. And then we're going to go ahead and shade in. I'm going to draw a dotted line right here. We're going to shade in the same number of tenths. Okay, and I'm going to label my work. So here in this model, this represents 1/5 shaded parts. After I divided the fifths in halves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I now have 10 equal parts, and 1, 2 of those tenths are shaded in. Okay, so this is one way to draw a model. This is another way to draw a model. Now, something that's important for you to know is that sometimes making circle models can become really difficult. For example, it's hard for me to divide this circle into 5 equal parts. And sometimes it's hard to tell if two circles are equivalent or not equivalent. So what I would like you to do is practice drawing rectangular models, or this is called an area model, okay? And rectangular models are just a little easier and friendlier for us to draw. Sometimes you might see questions using circular fraction models, okay? So this is how we can draw models to generate or make equivalent fractions.